All right, so let's do some recordings quickly. So this one talk about a very tragic murder case of this teenage girl named Naveragh Grey, who was killed over some apparently some skew from some apparently some conflict with her neighbor with some garbage. All right, and in this, I'm not gonna read the whole article, but basically the gist of it, she was a 19-year-old girl, and who was I think worked as a bartender and aspired to be a nurse, but apparently she was um apparently she had an argument with a neighbor, and it turns out that that bitch made neighbor was a groom apparently. It resulted in him returning a firearm, and he ended up where he ended where 12 people got injured before she was killed. Now, the only good thing that's come from this very sickening story is that that monster is behind bars, and so on. But all I can say is that only regret I have of this story so far, and this is how I know about it so far, is that it should have ended in a more with jungle justice done to that bastard, though. I mean, like, I would have rather the story end up even that one, that she was not getting hurt or killed, or that whatever dispute they had, they resolved in a very in a very more peaceful manner. But nowadays, like Jamaicans, a lot of us, we don't believe in resolving arguments that are basically not really that serious with violence. All right, because we're not a place where people can disagree, and just act like rational adults. It's like case where someone hurt gets their feelings hurt for right or wrong. They resort to physical force or weapon, especially against someone who is also harmless and defenseless. Usually, but this is what does it look like happen now. People are going to say, is there more to the story? I think it's most likely there's more to the story, because more than likely that there's probably that this neighbor and her probably had issues prior to this one, because unless the guy has like a very violent history, I won't be surprised it turns out that guy had a very violent history, that probably had a very short tempo, and that he's probably had several cases where she's not the first person he's gotten violent with. I think that's a likely scenario. Or it could have been a case where there's this animosity between these two for a while now, and it got to the point where this guy felt that, okay, I'd rather than just resolving things peacefully and amicably, I'm just going to take this one's out. And yeah, people are going to theorize, okay, maybe that there were more, that probably could have been a lover spat. Maybe she and him were together, probably he wanted to leave her or whatever, and which again there's no proof of that, because like and so on. But there's just there's much more to the story I can say, and the thing is that it's just tragically it ended in a very bad way that it didn't need to end. All right, it tragically ended in a way where there's this where they could think people they could have just resolved this amicably, regardless what history how well these two were acquainted with each other, and it's apparently they were. But this is just very sickening, because this woman, and again, I don't know her. I can't say what kind of person she was in real life. I'm not going to say that she's a good or bad person. Again, I never met her. But this is someone who could have probably gone on to become a nation builder, because if she wanted to be a nurse, she could have helped in the medical field a lot, or wherever. This woman was robbed of a chance to really try and become a possible nation builder to this country because of some dirt bag. And I can only hope that at least that this guy's caught. But again, I'm just wondering, is he going to get a joke sentence? All right, where he just gets a slap on the wrist and then he'll be out on the streets, and so on. I just hope that's not the case. But if that's the case, Jamaican people about that life need to get on this, if justice is not served. That's all I have to say. More is going to come out of the story, because that's all we know. But there's more to the story than we know. But again, this was a very tragic story that could have been avoided if one simple argument was resolved in a more peaceful, amicable way. That's all I have to say. So it's for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube pages, Miles Goose and Farron, Miles Productions, Real Thoughts of Miles. All right.